So I got some good news and I got some bad news for Voyager Digital. I also may or may not have invested into Voyager Digital. Let me explain to you my play and my reasoning of why I did or did not do with Voyager Digital. The other day, I did make a video about Voyager Digital and BlockFi and how they're being bailed out by a guy called Sam Bankman-Fried. What a really cool name for this owner of FTX. The guy is worth like $30 billion and he owns a lot of different crypto exchanges and crypto platforms. He's literally trying to make some sort of a crypto consortium where he owns a little bit of everything. That's what I think he's trying to do. In any case, he gave a revolving line of credit to both BlockFi and Voyager Digital, and this essentially bailed them out. Voyager Digital, a couple of days ago, told a company called 3 Arrows Capital, hey, you owe us $675 million of Bitcoin and Bitcoin crypto equivalent. We need you to pay us back. Today, 3AC says, deuces, we ain't paying you shit. Come see us in court. And this is why Voyager Digital is now down 20% for today, and total for 1 year, Voyager Digital is now down nearly 98%. Nearly 98%. That's around a 50x or so from now to where the all-time high was. And keep in mind, Bitcoin is only down around high 60% from where it was the same exact period of time, which makes you think a little bit. Now, not by any means do I think that they deserve their all-time high, and by any means I don't think that Voyager is a great company or not a great company, but I will tell you one thing. The main shareholder of Voyager Digital is a guy called, you guessed it, Sam Bankman-Fried. Through himself and his subsidiaries, he owns 11% of Voyager, and he gave them a massive line of revolving credit. Do you think somebody who's worth $30 billion, has his hands in everything cryptocurrency, is gonna let Voyager Digital just go bankrupt? No. He's gonna probably put in as much money as possible to make sure Voyager Digital survives. Why? He wants more power, ultimately controlling as much in the cryptoverse as possible. But I'll get to that in just a moment. Let's read the article of how 3AC says, yo, go F yourself. Crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows defaulted on loans, says broker Voyager Digital. 3 Arrows had borrowed $675 million from Voyager Digital in the form of 15,250 Bitcoin and 350 million in USD coin, a stablecoin whose value is pegged to the dollar. Voyager had previously said it would issue a notice of default if the crypto hedge fund didn't repay the loan by Monday. 3 Arrows Capital hired legal and financial advisors after suffering heavy losses from a broad market sell-off in digital assets. This is what you call biting more off than you can chew, and absolute greed. This is the reason why we have our crypto market as it is today, because it was never meant to over leverage, it was never meant to margin, it was never meant for all of this excessive lending and borrowing. And this is why we're acting like a subset of the tech sector. Voyager Digital said it intends to recover its assets and is discussing legal remedies with its advisors. The crypto broker said it had $137 million of cash and crypto assets on hand as of Friday and is still processing users' orders and withdrawals, adding that it has engaged Moelis and Corporation as financial advisors. Voyager Digital said Monday it had used $75 million from a line of credit it took out last week to facilitate customers' orders and withdrawals and may use more. The crypto broker said last week it secured a loan that includes $200 million in cash and USD coin and 15,000 Bitcoin from crypto trading firm Alameda Research to meet customer liquidity needs. Alameda Research is also in the hands of Sam Bankman-Fried. He owns it. He is in some way, shape, or form in charge of Alameda Research. The 2 lines of credit expire at the end of 2024 and carry an annual interest rate of 5% payable on maturity, which means that you don't have to pay it until 2024, the end of it, which is really nice. You get a good 2 years or so of a revolving line of credit. By then, they believe the crypto market is going to recover and it's all good. It's all gravy because you have assets, you pay back what you borrowed, and you keep the rest. Remember when I was talking about Voyager Digital earlier, that Sam Bankman-Fried owns 11% of Voyager Digital? I'm going to get to that in a moment. And remember how I said he's trying to get his hands on everything, and I don't mean that in a bad way, his tentacles around the entire crypto industry. It is what it is. He's trying to play monopoly with crypto firms. Crypto exchange FTX is also in talks to acquire a stake in crypto lender BlockFi. Okay, let me read you another article. This is another article. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, now single largest shareholder of Voyager Digital. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried has now acquired 11% of Voyager Digital to become the single largest shareholder. Interesting, right? Check this out. On June 22nd, Voyager released a press release announcing a $200 million and 15,000 Bitcoin loan from Alameda Ventures. On June 17th, it filed an early warning notice that Sam Bankman-Fried had personally purchased nearly 15 million shares. The total amount that he owns and aggregate affiliates own is now 22,681,260 shares, accounting for 11.56% of Voyager Digital. Just think about it. And I'm going to keep talking about Sam. If you're Sam, does it look like you're going to let Voyager Digital go under? Seriously. Now, do me a favor, if you're really feeling my content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But when you do that, please give me a comment below and say, hey, I subscribed to your channel. So I make sure to comment back and give you a heartfelt thank you so much in exchange for that subscription. Sam can come up with $1 billion as quickly as you can come up with $100. It's not that big of a deal for him. He has the money. He's going to cover anything to do with Voyager Digital. That's my personal opinion. I'm not giving you advice. That's my own personal play. I believe Voyager Digital is a great YOLO play. Let me rephrase what I mean by YOLO play. That means I already assumed that I lost my money. I didn't buy much. I put in like $2,000. That's it. Not much. If I lose the $2,000, I lose the $2,000. It's all good. But with it nearly 98% down for the year, and Sam owning 11.56% of Voyager Digital, I just don't see how they're going to go under as long as Sam has all that money in the bank. As long as Sam has tens of billions of dollars, I don't see any possible way that Voyager is going to go under because Sam is going to bail them out. How profitable they're going to be, how good they're going to be in the future, how solid the company is, this I'm not even concerned about. As long as Sam does not go under and Sam does not sell his shares, which I can't see him selling his shares because he probably is doing exactly what I'm explaining now. He wants to bank on this later on or completely buy them out if they come into more problems. And if he completely buys them out, well, the shareholders are going to get a buyout of Voyager Digital. I would never put in more money than I'm willing to lose. And again, only a YOLO play. I would never put in significant money. For me, $2,000, it's not really a big deal. If I lose it, all good. I had the money on the sidelines. You guys all know that I'm waiting for Q3 to invest in the stock market. And I have like 50, 60K on the sidelines. So I put $2,000 into Voyager Digital, plus or minus, maybe 2,200, 23, 21, something like this. It's interesting because Voyager Digital is down nearly 98% from all-time highs. Bitcoin is only down 60-something percent from all-time highs. If Bitcoin 3x's, it reaches its all-time high. But if Voyager Digital 3x's from where it is right now, it's nowhere near its all-time high. It needs to around 50x, multiple dozens x, to get back to all-time highs. For me, that's a risk-reward ratio that I'm willing to take. And that is the basis of this trade. I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term holder when I'm investing. But sometimes I do allocate a few percent of my portfolio to do these crazy swing trades. And for me, that's exactly what it is. I'm going to hold Voyager. And I honestly think that if there is going to be a bull market and Bitcoin does cross $100,000, I think Voyager Digital is going to be a 30, 40, 50x. Why would it not reach its last all-time high? Specifically, and especially if they can get through this bear market and if there's going to be other corporations that are dropping like 3 Arrow Capital and other firms and other crypto platforms and other trading financial platforms when it comes to cryptocurrency. And they can somehow survive, which I believe they can because of the almighty hand of Sam. Why would they not reach the all-time high or at least halfway to their all-time high, right? Even halfway to their all-time high, you're still talking about like a 24x from where you are right now. Some people are not going to appreciate this trade. I think it's a gangster move. And again, if I lose all my money on this trade, I'm okay with that. So for you, $2,000 might be chump change, or for you, $2,000 might be a lot. So if you only have $20 to mess with as your YOLO play, do whatever you want. But if you have a lot of money, do whatever you want. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm doing what's good for me, and I'm justifying the play that I'm giving you. And I want this on video because if I end up making some money, I'll be happy and I'll be able to point back to this video and say, yo, you see, I did a YOLO play. But if I lose the money, I'll be happy too because, hey, it's a YOLO freaking play. That's what it means. As a result of this purchase, when combined with his affiliate ownership through Almeida Ventures, Sam is the largest single shareholder of Voyager Digital shares. According to Yahoo Finance, the next largest institutional holder is Bank Funds Company with only 417,000 shares or 0.21%. The largest mutual fund is Amfi Transformational Data Sharing ETF with around 2.8 million shares, accounting only for 1.45%. The total number of institutional shares reported as just 8.21% of the float, meaning Sam owns more shares than all other institutions combined. The free float of shares is currently registered at 60 million, with 195 million shares outstanding. At 22.6 million shares, which is what Sam and his affiliates and everything that he touches owns, Sam and Almeida Ventures are now own more than 1/3 of the current float. As long as Sam does not let Voyager Digital down, Voyager Digital will not drop. The second Sam says, I'm out, Voyager Digital is done. But with a revolving credit line that isn't due until the end of 2024, you have to ask yourself, in the next 2 to 2.5 years, 24 to 30 months, do you believe that crypto is going to come back? Or do you believe the price is going to be here? And when I say crypto is going to come back, do you believe that Bitcoin is going to go from 20,000 that it is right now to, let's say, 40,000, right? I'm not even saying all-time high. In the next 2 to 2.5 years, do you think Bitcoin, crypto as a whole, is going to go up 2x from where it is right now? And if the answer is yes, Voyager Digital is going to be able to pay back this loan with ease, pay the 5%, and they're going to be all good because people are going to be trading and they're going to remember that through these bad times, Voyager Digital survived and Voyager Digital is all right by people. Remember, people have a very short-term memory. And by no means am I saying Voyager Digital is a dope-ass company. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, with Sam backing Voyager Digital and with him owning, directly or indirectly, 1/3 of the float, guys, that is freaking massive. Now, Sam is also trying to purchase, I heard, Robinhood. He already has shares in Robinhood. If I'm not mistaken, he already owns 7% shares in Robinhood, and somebody says that he might be purchasing outright Robinhood. He wants his hands in everything, and as long as you are a part of the Sam empire in cryptocurrency, you should be okay as long as Sam, the underlying entity that's supporting and bailing out all of these crypto funds, you're going to be good as long as he's good. Guys, thank you so much.